Good evening, everyone. It is May 21st, 2019. And unfortunately, this is the last After Dark of the season. The Sharks lose 5-1 to the St. Louis Blues in Game 6 of the Western Conference Final. And the Blues are your Western Conference champions of 2019, and a heck of a run for them for sure. We'll be breaking down everything tonight on Teal Town After Dark. Hi, everyone. These shows are always the tough ones. I am Eric Carell. We'll be taking you through this shindig for the next while or so. But of course, if you want to be part of the show, there are multiple ways to interact with us, chat with us, and fellow Sharks fans in the YouTube chat, on the page, or the app. You can also hit us up using the hashtag TealTownUSA, but you know what? Just hit us up on all the social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, you name it, you love it. We want to thank over the 1,550 subscribers to our YouTube channel. We appreciate this. We do this after every single game, and we appreciate each and every one of you that have joined us in. And my panelists tonight, Mr. AJ Strong.
You know.
And Mr. Al Martinet.
Hey, everyone. It's the off season.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a tough one, but we're going to do our best to get through it. The Sharks down 3-2. No Pavelski. I forget what happened to him. Oh, that's right. He took a headshot. Tomas Hertl. Oh, he took a headshot too. Okay. And then Eric Carlson with his groin.
Stop piling on, dude. Stop piling on.
So let's get things going here. A minute 20 in. Bernsey breaks up a nice 2-on-1. Unfortunately, just a few seconds later at 1:32, David Perron would tip a Bale a shot to make it 1-0 St. Louis. O'Reilly also gets an assist to a crazy night for O'Reilly. Team that has scored first has won each game of this series. AJ?
I'm sorry, was there a question in there?
I was telling me about what you thought of the goal.
What, Blyce?
Yeah, it was credited to Perron because he apparently tipped it.
Oh, whatever. I don't know what you wanted to say, man. It's, look, the series is over. I'm not going to sit here and I don't want to sit here and dwell on a game. I mean, the Sharks weren't full squad. What are you going to do? You're probably going to be hard pressed to find a team in the playoffs that's going to have a solid game when they're missing their captain, they're missing their top center, and they're missing one of their top two defensive guys. It's not going to, it's a tough hill to climb. They weren't able to climb it. So, that's it. I don't know that it's worth dwelling on this game. We can sit here and, talk about the playoffs as a whole, but
yeah.
I mean, hey, congrats to Dylan Gambrell getting his first NHL goal.
Right. And the super chat donations. Wow. Thank you so much. Rob Hyman, John Bukaleg, Christian Ruiz. We incredibly appreciate all of those, and along with Burge 7F91. And we'll have a breakdown all that other stuff that Burge is asking about in just a jiffy.
The one thing I want to say about all these injuries, boy, Sharks got lucky with those.
Yeah, well, only one injury. Yeah.
Moving along in this recap, 4 minutes in, Tarasenko hits Meyer high, a little tete-a-tete. Nothing called. NBC commenters, they should have blown it, but nonetheless, nothing happens. That moves on. 16:09 in, Barclay Goodrow would take a tripping call, and the Blues would set up on the power play really quick. Vladimir Tarasenko gets all the time in the room in the world to shoot and score his 8th of the playoffs from Periaco and O'Reilly to make it 2-0 St. Louis in that one. PK, rough last 2 games for sure. And that's where it would be after what?
Christian in the chat. I want an AJ Warren shirt. Nobody wants that, man. Nobody wants that. But I'll see what I can do. Let's see if we can hook you up with something. How about a used towel? You know, I'll get a used shark towel for you.
Just wipe the sweat. You know,
that was definitely a used Martin Jones in that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, just a few things, and I don't want to go nuts because I got to save some of my vitriol for Pucknologist, but again, you know, Sharks are missing 3 of their top players. Tough to come through when you got to slot in guys like Gambrell. I think we all should have known when we saw a video from this morning's skate when Radil and Dell were going at it that maybe the team wasn't in a good place, but excuse me. You know, it's you look at the Sharks, what they had to go through to get through Vegas. Then they have to go through 7 with Colorado, and that was not an easy series. It was definitely the cleanest of the 3 series, but not an easy series. And you also have 2 series that controversy surrounds both series. You've got the 5-minute major story for Game 7 in the round 1. You've got the offside call challenge, whatever, from Game 7 of round 2. So there's all this controversy. There's this huge narrative. Sharks are catching breaks everywhere. They're so lucky. Then you get the hand pass that wasn't called in Game 3 that inevitably leads to EK65 winning the game in Game 3. And excuse me, just after 17 games, it was nothing. The Sharks are catching all the breaks. The Sharks are so lucky. Bar Down put out a graphic or put out a comic just after the Canes were eliminated, and it showed the Cane, you know, like you've got like a Blues player and you got a Bruins player, and then there's this Carolina player that looks like he is like tripped and fallen, and they're all in front of the Stanley, you know, chasing after the Stanley Cup. So you've got a Blues player alone, you've got a Hurricanes player, and then you've got 2 officials holding a Sharks player on their shoulders. It's like this narrative was so ridiculous. Wyszynski, I don't know who the hell you're trying to impress, bro. And then the fact that you have the balls today after this is over to say, it really truly sucks that we didn't get a healthy Sharks team in this series.
Right.
Yeah, no shit. But to sit there after all the crap Wyszynski popped about the Sharks catching all the breaks and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, we talked about getting Wyszynski on here now that he's a local guy and everything. And, you know, if you guys want to talk to him, sure. I have no desire to talk to this cat whatsoever now after the just that. I mean, dude, at least feign, you know, no bias. At least fake it. But anyway, that's my 2 cents for right now. Come back to me when you need me.
Your mic.
Oh, there we go. After first period, 9-7 the shots for the Sharks. St. Louis had the only power play. They were 1-for-1. Face-offs, 64% for the Blues, 36% for San Jose. Another part of the Blues dominating things, Al.
You know, getting the first goal in that short time, only a minute 30, was a huge moment in that game. I thought it was actually critical for the Sharks to get the first goal, and that didn't really happen. Better, and actually having a 2-0 lead in the first period was even worse. But I do want to give the Sharks a lot of credit. It actually did seem like they had a good effort in the second period. Still kind of the same differential after the second period, but minute 30, you know, not getting that lead. maybe we're talking about a different game if Couture scores an early goal, but the Sharks were really limited without Hurdle, Pavelski, and Carlson. That's just how it is.
Yep. Second period, things started looking up. I thought the Sharks definitely gained more momentum and such. Definitely after Dylan Gambrell. Yes, the guy who used to swear to used to wear number 14. He gets his first NHL goal in Game 6 of the Western Conference Final. Great shot, beats Binnington. Yes, Binnington is human on occasion. His first from Jonas Donskoy and Martin Jones, of all people. I know people were mentioning Martin Jones is going to have to do the entire game himself, but
sure,
why not? That's that type of game tonight.
So he gets his first at 6:40, 10:57. Justin Braun takes a hooking call on Mr. St. Louis Thomas. That eventually leads to a power play goal. Braden Shen gets off his 13-game schneid, his second of the playoffs. A power play goal from Pietrangelo and Thomas to make it 3-1. And I thought that's where the momentum for the Blues was at an all-time high. And while the Sharks did have some chances later in the period, they just couldn't get it done. And after two periods, 16-16 in favor of both teams for the shots on goal. St. Louis 2 for 2 on the power play. St. Louis with a 54-46 advantage in the face-off department. Third period, call it a shocker, folks, but the Blues actually took a penalty here. Maroon off for tripping Donskoy at 1:36. LeBanc goes post on the power play with a great screen by Nyquist, but nothing comes of that. 12:30, the Blues get their first shot on goal, and then about a half a minute later, Tyler Bozak gets his fifth from Perron and O'Reilly. That one kind of sealed it up at 4-1 there, add in an empty netter, and that is it, folks, for a 5-1 their final. Blues win the series 4-2. They'll play Boston in the Cup final. So
good luck with Boston, because Boston is probably going to get the majority of the calls we didn't get, and good luck with Marchand.
Should be an interesting one, that's for sure. And now the Blues will have 6 days off themselves as well.
So how was I want to get your perspective on it, but how is the officiating impacting the series for you?
Well, I thought the officiating was okay through the first 9 periods of hockey. And then, of course, the bad hand pass call that doesn't go. It favors the Sharks. Didn't help out the Sharks in any form whatsoever. But after Game 3, 3-0 for wins. Power plays. The Sharks go 1 for 6. The Blues go 4 for 14. Face-offs. Blues in a wide margin. Injured players. 3-0 there. Tomas Hertl and Dylan Gambrell, your only goal scorers from Game 3 onward. That's a huge problem.
And Game 4 is the last time they had 30 shots on goal. So you can factor in that, if not gain power play chances, momentum, not on your side. Say what you want about it being 5-0 tonight, or 5-0 on Game 5 and what tonight's score was, but I thought Jones was okay this playoff round.
AJ, care to add on anything?
What would you like to know?
From Game 4 onward, this team, this Sharks club.
It was It was a shit show. I mean, you got, let me see, Vander Kane had 1 goal in 18 games. I mean, just too many passengers. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from the fourth line. Jumbo's line, essentially invisible the entire time. So, I mean, that certainly didn't help things. And it's Brent Burns was a beast in the first 2 rounds. You didn't see much from Brent Burns. It was just not enough guys were able to show up. And, look, I'm not saying, I know that I have to I should have some sort of like neon sign or says that, back here, I'll get a neon sign since neon seems to be the whole in vogue thing this season. I have to get a neon sign that says, I'm not blaming the officials for the loss.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. I was
going to put that up there. Not blaming the officials for the loss. That said, was there a ton of stuff that was let go, especially in games 4, 5, and 6? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, tonight, LeBanc gets slew-footed. There's no call. Okay. Sure. Sorensen's cross-checked in the back. No call. Okay, fine. Tarasenko takes a shot at Meyer. I actually didn't have a problem with that not being called at all. But then Goodrow barely touches a guy. He collapses in the corner. That's a tripping call. Okay, fine. If you want to call it like that. Honestly, though, I think you have to, again, I'm not blaming the officials for the Sharks losing this game or losing this series. I know I have to say that slowly for some people. Not blaming them. But, that said, anybody who watched these games could see the officials from round 1 got elbow. You gone. After what happened in the first round. Then you see officials get knocked out of the officials for game 3 that blew the hand pass.
Yeah.
They got pulled. Subsequently, the amount of calls in the games went way down. And you know who they went down more for than the other team? The Sharks.
Yep.
This is officiated by humans, people. And if you don't do a good job, chances are you're not going to have a job for very much longer. So maybe it's a case of the officials are like, hey, you know what? If we don't call anything, we can't be fired. It's laughable. Now, look, if you want to sit there and say, hey, the officials, they let shit go and blah blah blah. Okay, then you know what? Fine, we'll put that one away. Let's talk about the headshots. Let's talk about Justin Braun. Not once, but twice in these playoffs. Taking shots to the head. None of them called a penalty. None of them gets a call for a hearing. Nothing. Then we see the shot on Hertl last game. The reason why he wasn't in today's game. And no call. Now, granted, I'm not saying that Barbashev should be suspended. But maybe you get a hearing, maybe a fine, you do something, you at least get his name on the list and say, hey, that's not something you do. We want that out of the game. Don't do that anymore. You give him the fine, you get him on the list, and there you go. And maybe he doesn't take that shot next time, or he thinks twice about it. Maybe get a little lower, get the body. A few of these shots, the shot on Braun from McNabb, go back and look, dude. The dude straight launches up. His feet leave the ice.
Yep.
But no call. No, nothing. So that's, my beef is with Department of Player Safety. Officials are going to officiate. Ref's going to ref. But Department of Player Safety is a joke. So
now do you think that Pierre DeBoer was outcoached this series?
Not when the Sharks were healthy. I thought he was fine. But I don't know that he was out coached so much because, the power play has been a shit show for a long time.
Yep.
Yes.
But My beef, there's that, but it's just deployment of minutes. Why do you have Joachim Ryan on this team if you're going to play him for 3 goddamn minutes?
That's being generous.
Right? So
It's more like 1 minute.
yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen that a bit, a bit more. So that, when he's got the horses, he can jockey, but dude, he looked like he was riding horse 9 today.
Joachim Ryan overall 1554 tonight.
Yeah, because Tim Heed was in.
Tim Heed 1855.
Of course, you got to. But I mean, dude, that the defensive squad, they had to been feeling it, man. You get 2 7-game series, and then your game 6 into this one, dude. Burns, Vlasic, the top guys, they got to be on fire right now, dude. They don't have anything left.
And Dylan wasn't great this series at all. I thought this was a step back series.
I thought he had a couple good. I think Dylan did what we expect Dylan to do.
Sorry, Rocket.
I'm waiting for Rocket to just pop on, just to go off on you now.
Hello, Chris.
Hey guys, I heard there's a hockey game tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that went well. I actually will lay a lot of blame at the feet of Peter DeBoer because I think that minutes distribution that adds up. If you think the energy is bad the last couple games, every game has to be a 7-game series. Every game has to be 28, 29, 30 minutes for Carlson and Burns. That's not even factoring in the overtime. And that's a Carlson with a glass groin. I think that's a big part of the problem is that I think he mismanaged the minutes. And honestly, I think though for me the turning point was that the infamous hand pass, because I was like, oh shit, they're after 3 of those now, they're just going to give the Sharks nothing, no benefit of the doubt, because they do not want to be thought of as biased. And I mean, it showed. I'm not going with the. I don't think it was a conspiracy as much as I think the refs didn't want to appear biased. And if you just look at the numbers line up in a way that, man, power plays for the Sharks just dropped. And that's without even looking at the highlights or anything like that. And I don't know who is Teal Town USA, but I think it's AJ can't hear me. It's okay, AJ. I'm saying I hate you. You're the worst. I love Google Hangouts. Honestly, Google Hangouts is to blame for this playoff loss. I just wanted to pop in. I'm in the Eastern time zone. It's super late. It's frustrating. But one, the Sharks team has plenty of heart. I don't want to hear one single hot take of they didn't want enough. They wanted it. They were dead against Vegas, and they managed, even if they had some help from the refs, you don't come back from the dead with one bad call. You come back from the dead with a lot of grit, a lot of things that you had to do, and maybe a team giving up 4 power play goals in 5 minutes. But whatever. You know what? I'm not upset with this outcome in the end because way better than I thought it was going to be when the playoffs started. Way better than I thought it would be in round 1. Only one team wins, and that's the reality we always have to live with is only one team wins. Lots of great teams lose every year. We try again another year. When that one comes, it will be fantastic. The best. Love you all. Thank you, everyone watching Teal Town, for all your support. Appreciate it so much. See you next year.
Thank you, Chris. Glad you were able to sneak in, even though some people thought you were underneath a phone or under the water. But he was and AJ, I know you had a tough time hearing him, and I don't know if Al, you could hear him, but he was talking about maybe you do blame PDB a little bit for mismanaging the defenseman's minutes in this postseason.
I mean, we've said this round 1, round 2, that this was going to be a huge factor if the Sharks advanced to round 3 and round 4. And it really did show at round 3, round 4. I thought Ryan or he should probably have gotten more minutes. 7 minutes definitely seemed low. And especially considering that Eric Carlson coming off of a groin injury probably should have gotten lesser minutes. But Burns, give him all the credit right now. He most ice time in the playoffs. He was pretty good. This is one of his best playoff seasons.
I like Anthony's comment in the chat. So should Braun, Hurdle, and Pavelski stayed down after their headshots instead of all three of them getting back up? I don't remember Pavelski getting up too quickly after his forearm shiver from Pietrangelo. And Hurdle, he got back up, but you could tell he was laboring and he didn't last much longer. And
he was dizzy.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, that I go back. Blythe was quoted today in saying that he finally saw the replay of the hit on Braun from game 3, and he actually admitted, yeah, I think I got head there. I should have, phrasing, but still, he got him. And so at least he admits it. But again, no call, no nothing. And the initial shot that Pavelski takes, I don't have a problem with that from Pietrangelo. It's when you look at it, and after the hit, then he throws in the elbow there as to like make a point for no reason whatsoever, other than intent to injure. So,
and then he throws his arms up like he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, what are you talking about? Me?
And of course, he knows about the head injury in round 1. It's a cheap play.
Oh, it's a head injury plus getting teeth. I mean, you talk about a heavy playoff series. So, I mean, to lose half your bottom grill in game 1, then get completely, dumped and you're leaking from your noggin, and then to actually be able to come back in less than 2 weeks and not only play in game 7, draw a penalty and score the first goal. I mean, that's beast mode right there. And of course, unless you talk to, certain fans from other teams, and they'll tell you that, that was a dive by Pavelski, or my favorite tonight, Sorensen. The Sorensen getting cross-checked into the boards, and someone on Twitter said Sorensen should have been called for embellishment there. And it's just like, are you kidding me, man?
I thought you were going to say Pavelski didn't have stitches in his head.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't shaved, so it can't be any.
Got a lot of comments in the chat. Alicia, I get the criticism of PDB, but he did get us to the conference finals twice, cup finals once. That does count for something.
CD Dangle asking about why Wes McCauley was out. Yeah, he basically kind of got clipped by another official and ended up taking a little fall, and in that fall basically pulled the hammy. So he gone.
Seemed like the game was a little bit more even, but maybe the Sharks were just fine their legs, but that's just no excuse.
What, for Wes McCauley to go out? I totally agree.
Yes, all the above.
AO asking, were we stupid to not play rough to injure like other teams?
Well, no, because the Sharks, it's proven in the numbers, it's proven in the video. The Sharks probably could have run some guys, and they would have gotten a 5. I guarantee you, if they would have hit somebody, like if it would have been a huge hit, they would have gotten a 5-minute major called on them simply to make up for the last, for the egregiousness of that horrible call from game 7 that, caused the Sharks to score 4 goals in 4 minutes and then be able to score after 18 minutes of overtime, because that was all the officials on that. Vegas had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, of course they didn't stop anything in that power play.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because of the officials. It's all the refs. That's the reason why Vegas can't stop talking about it. But anyway, it is what it is. It happened, and now I think we kind of have to look forward a little bit and consider what are the Sharks going to do moving forward. There's some people, there's absolute, I think justified to a certain extent. Again, numbers bear things out. But I think it's somewhat justified. Okay, really quickly. Laurel, you don't have to be so quick with the band hammer. Like, really let somebody stick their mouth in their foot, like full, like toe to heel. You know, if they're just sucking their toes, you don't have to kick them off right there. See, now I'm seeing this in the chat. Sharks fans got cocky.
No.
When?
Well, see, funny, as soon as I mentioned it, the commenter retracts their comment. But you can't unring a bell, my friend. You're gonna like, dude, if you're gonna come in here and troll, at least have some evidence to like back up your claim. Like, don't be one of those fans. Like, back up what you're gonna say. You think the Sharks fans got cocky? Please.
Was that STL 32?
Yes.
Okay, well, that deserves a permanent life ban.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm fine if somebody wants to come in here and say something, but if you're being sarcastic, at least put a smiley face next to it or something. But if you're saying that and then you have like no evidence to like back up what you're saying, then you're simply a troll. And why are you even here? Like, don't you have other
go get your Blues championship gear?
All right, go buy some Blues champion stuff.
Let's do the off season, guys.
Yeah. And congrats to the Blues. I mean, let's be easy on. Let's for sure on that. They've what a turnaround for them.
I mean, being worst in January and winning the Western Conference, I'll give them a lot of credit. No one expected that, but they are going against Boston, I think, and they do have a decent goalie who's on a hot streak. Who knows? I think Boston's probably the best remaining team in the playoffs. I know that's kind of a cheap out, but I think Boston has been pretty consistent all year. It's Boston's to lose.
Look, I mean, we're talking about a team who was in the cellar at the turn of the calendar. They had like players dust up during morning skate. They replaced their coach. There's a couple guys that were kind of, Tarasenko was not lighting the world on fire in the first two rounds, people. Nope. They had some adversity and, stick taps to St. Louis for getting through it. And, it took the squad 50 years to get this far, right? I mean, God, damn, I hope we don't have to wait another 23, but it's look, stick taps to them for taking it. Dude, they took advantage of a wounded animal. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
I mean, plain and simple. It's like, yeah, St. Louis, you won. Absolutely. Congratulations. You took advantage of a team that was clearly feeling, the effects of their first two rounds and getting through that. Would St. Louis have gotten through Vegas in the first round? That could have been an interesting series because, again, like you mentioned, the other thing with St. Louis, they found this incredibly hot goalie. They found lightning in a bottle. Will he be able to, is this guy going to be able to, remain this way and be consistent? Or are we going to see Binnington turn into the next Steve Mason? Eric, you want to educate the people on Steve Mason?
Let's just say,
what was it? Dude had like a stellar run for one season with Columbus, and then you never heard from the guy again.
Yeah, and then he got traded to Philly, and well, we all know how great goaltenders in Philly do.
Yeah, so we'll see if Binnington can sustain this and see how he plays for a full season. Granted. Binnington, what is he, like 25?
26?
Yeah, I want to say he's like mid-20s. So, I mean, Binnington could have a stellar run and then never hear from him again, but at least he's the right age. And, you could potentially...
He's 25.
There you go. So
he was drafted in the third round in 2011 by the Blues. The pick they got from Tampa for Eric Brewer.
Oh, see, nice play. So I bet you Tampa would have appreciated some goaltending this playoffs.
Thanks, Tampa.
But
A
all
quick
right.
comment from Kurz in the Twitter machine. Some emotional moments post game. Sounds like Thornton was getting a bit choked up before his interview ended, and DeBoer looked glassy eyed about how much he wanted to help Joe get a cup.
Ooh, boy.
Uh,
That does not bode well, my friend. That sounds like Jumbo basically is admitting he played his last game in Teal.
yeah.
If that's the case, I'm going to have to get my ass over to locker cleanout day and get this bad boy behind me signed
Quickly.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who may not be playing for the Sharks anymore, the list of UFAs.
Okay, hold on. Oh, Laurel, I'm not calling you out for anything. I'm just saying we don't need to be quick with the banhammer in the chat. That's all. Laurel, I'm not trying to upset you, okay?
The list of UFAs.
Yeah. Tim Clifton from minor league.
Wait, hold on. What was it? Tim Clifton from the minor league?
Yes.
He's
okay.
gone.
Okay, Laurel. I didn't mean to say you banned anybody.
Keep on going, Puck Guy.
Yeah.
Jonas Donskoy, Michael Haley, Gustav Nyquist.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Well,
I hope you're logged into the Teal Town account.
I'm not.
Because we that might take us off the air, but we'll continue on.
My God. All right. Let's just keep on going.
Let's just keep on going. In fact, if you want to flip over to the Teal Town account, do it right now while I talk about this. Jonas Donskoy, Michael Haley, Gustav Nyquist, Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton, Tim Heed, and of course Erik Karlsson are your unrestricted free agents going into the off season. Definitely a interesting amount of players there. Is Nyquist a complete rental? Will Michael Haley get back into the lineup in the fourth line? I think he had at least 3 shifts in the third period tonight, including one at the beginning of the third when you're down by 2 and you're in elimination mode. I don't know. Jonas Donskoy, who got off the schneid, scoring the series-winning goal in Game 7 against Colorado, had an assist tonight on Gambrell's first NHL goal. Joe Pavelski, another guy. You have to wonder, did he play his last game in Teal? You talk about Erik Karlsson. Karlsson with the groin on top of other things. Who knows? And if you don't get Erik Karlsson, and it can go up and down with Erik Karlsson. We've heard rumblings that he doesn't want to be with, that his wife misses the East Coast.
Yeah,
in Ottawa. If you don't get Karlsson, does that mean Tim Heed gets signed, who's also a UFA?
I think the first domino that's going to fall is what they do with Meyer, what the price range for him is. Because for me, that's kind of where everything sits at. If Meyer gets the Tomas Hertl deal, I think everything kind of sits in nicely to keep Pavelski in, but that's the issue right now, is what the cap hit is going to be for Meyer.
Hey, Adam in the chat, just come at me on Twitter, dude. Don't wait until I log off.
Yeah, jeez.
Well, no, see, this is the whole thing. This is why I came back, because I see all the vitriol. I see all the BS on social media. That's why I'm about done with a lot of this stuff. I'm about ready to just kill my Twitter. I'm just going to turn off the chat function on here, because it's like, look, either be respectable and respectful and have civil discourse and good dialogue. If you want to say something that I said or any of the panel members on here is incorrect, bring evidence. Say, I'm sorry, but I disagree with you. Here's why. I'm going to sit there, oh, that person's stupid. then why are you here? Seriously, why are you here? To sit here and like lay into people that are trying to, provide content and to other Sharks fans. I mean, seriously, I'm so sick of this shit. I don't mean to get on a rant, but I've had it with this. I really have had it. It's been, the Vegas fans started it all. There was some Colorado fans that, look, it came down a little bit, but then there's been St. Louis fans that have gotten it wound up. And so it's just, look, either be respectful and, come at me on Twitter all you want. There's no reason to get this, stuff going on here in the chat and ruin it for everybody else. You don't like what we're doing? Fine. Don't watch it. So, all right. As for all these free agents,
goodbye.
All right. So onward with the restricted free agents, you have Dylan Gambrell, Kevin LeBanc, Timo Meier, Joachim Ryan. All four played a role in tonight's game, at least. But for LeBanc, Meier, and Ryan were all pivotal in the offseason plans for the Sharks. There's been many people talking about, will there be an offer sheet put out this offseason, mainly for like Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I wonder if there's going to be something headed towards maybe Timo Meier's way, maybe Kevin LeBanc, especially after what he did in Game 7 against Vegas.
I still love Kevin LeBanc's game. I think there's a bright future for him being a second or third center. Maybe potential hurdle development deal, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets a bridge contract similar to what Hurdle got early on. I think Joachim Ryan is practically gone. I don't think the Sharks are going to offer him anything.
Dude, the Sharks are going to let Joachim Ryan on the plane home, dude.
They're going to let him on the plane, but not next. I don't see him back on the team next year.
No, I've not with the minutes he's played. No, Joachim's gone, especially as Shimmick is full blown healthy. Remember, you still have, not that Ryan Merkley is going to make the team next season, but you have some let's just say some irons in the fire. So yeah, Joachim Ryan, you played your last game in Teal. Sorry to tell you, Meier, I think is going to get paid. That dude's going to get, he's going to get what like the current Hurdle contract. Well, you might not get all of it, but he's going to get paid. I think LeBanc is going to get a very small bridge deal. I think he's going to get a show me deal. And the reason why I say that is if what Eric mentioned about from Kurz saying, glassy eyed and it's sounding is, although he hasn't come out and straight up said it, but it's sounding like Thornton has played his last game in Teal. Remember, LeBanc had his best season, but he had it with Thornton. Can he do that with another guy? And I think that's the reason why you give LeBanc a small bridge deal. It's a show me deal. Show me you can do this without Thornton.
Yeah, but LeBanc did also play with Meier, Couture. He also played that line a little bit. He's a good utility player. He can play a lot of positions.
And be your future quarterback on the power play.
If he ever shoots the puck.
Yeah. No doubt. He's just so little.
And that's the thing. You got up-and-comers too. I mean, not on this RFA list, but you also have Sasha Shemilevsky, Ivan Chekovich.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are plenty others, but also on this list, you wonder what the future holds for Rourke Chartier. Maxim Letunov. The other guy in the trade for Erik Karlsson, Francis Perron.
Dude, he started on first 2 months. Dude was on fire, led the Barracuda in scoring. The first 2 months. The last 2 months of the Barracuda, you couldn't even tell if he was on the ice. I don't think you're going to be seeing Perron wearing Teal. Chartier, if he wants to sign for the right amount of money. I mean, you have to put some guys in Barracuda sweaters at some point. Letunov, that was a guy that Ian Reed loved.
Yep.
And just never made the jump. And then Suomela, boy, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, there's a few people on again. You have to put somebody playing for the Barracuda, so we'll see.
More than any other year, there's going to be spots from Barracuda that can jump up to the major leagues. So Suomela, Chartier, they're going to get time. They're at least going to get some more opportunities.
Well, I think they'll get opportunity. Remember, I don't think there's any way in hell Doug Wilson is signing EK65. Not going to happen. And then you've got Jumbo Thornton. Jumbo, I don't think he signs. You've just right there freed up $15 million. That can go a long way.
I can't see it. I just can't see it either. Like, I'm just trying to convince myself, like, maybe he comes back with the groin injury, maybe the cap, or maybe there's not much competition and the Sharks offer him 9, but he's going to want 10. And that's where Burns is going to be too much of a detriment. That Vlasic deal is going to really be a backbreaker for the Sharks.
Boy, I don't know. Maybe, but I can't see EK65 staying here. When you look at the season he had, it was not a good season. He left his forever home. From what I understand, Pham is still back in Ottawa, or he had to leave some family. And either way, I think the dude wants to, he wants to be on the East Coast. You see him with the Rangers. You see him, if he takes any type of a discount to go to Tampa, so he can go with Tampa and play with Hedman since he's so tight with him. I don't know.
Yeah, that worked out so well with Brent Burns, just having an offensive defenseman,
Right?
That worked out so well. God, I can't. Look how far we went. Jeez.
So what about Nyquist, guys?
What about no kidding? I don't know, what the hell is he making right now?
Nyquist is making cap friendly went but I think it was like around $4 million.
I think Nyquist and Donskoy both stay
for the right price.
I keep Donskoy for the right price, and the right price for Donskoy for me is about 2.5.
If that.
Yeah.
That's almost too much. I think it's almost 1.5 for 2.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I think it's a case of and for love him or hate him, Brian Burke said this during intermission that, and this is true across the league, and depending on what player you have, he essentially said there is no, for as much as everybody has such great superlatives and compliments about everybody in the league, it's very rare to hear anybody say anything bad about somebody else in the NHL. But Brian Burke basically said, all you need is one stupid team to shell out too much money. And that's it. And it shuts everybody else. Yeah, it shuts everybody up. So you just need that one team. So if someone, what they say, you're worth what someone is willing to pay for you. Granted, the intellect of that person paying is not always taken into account, but hey, if someone's willing to pay EK65 Drew Doughty money, or pick a name, but someone's going to throw 11 million at him,
and that's going to be Montreal.
I don't know, but you never know who it could be. But there's some team that's going to throw too much money at him, and the GM will sit there and go, look, I got us this great, huge, awesome defenseman. He's won 2 Norris trophies and blah, blah, blah. And people will sit there and go, yeah, let me see. He broke his groin 2 or 3 times, and he had this problem, and it took him 2 months to fit in on a team, and blah, blah, blah. And he shies away from contact. He's defensively irresponsible some days. But yeah, 10 million. Sure, why not? Just I don't want him on my team. Give me another Vlasic, not another Burns.
What about, and I'll throw this to you, AJ, what if he came for a year and maybe $7-8 million? just to kind of recoup. Yeah, Carlson. Just to kind of recoup because he had the bad year.
Carlson's never going to sign that.
It would be 9 or 10.
Yeah, like he literally stayed here beyond a certain time to get the extra year. So no, dude, he wants term, dude.
But I think in my mind, who's going to give him term if they're not sure about his
health?
Groin?
Dude, anybody looking to make a splash, anybody that wants to hit the salary floor, the cap floor, dude, there will not be a shortage of teams willing to back up a Brinks truck to Erik Karlsson's house. There just won't.
More than any other time, because of the pending maybe player lockout, you're going to see a lot more players taking longer deals instead of the 1 year prove me deals,
or taking guaranteed money.
Just the guarantee that you're going to get a 5 or 6 longer deal.
No. I'm saying guaranteed that it's like I'm going to sign for $8 million a year for 8 years, but 60 million of that is guaranteed, whether we play or not. 4 million is going to be the annual salary. Yeah, that it's all going to shake out differently in the AAV, but there's going to be a significant amount of that money that is guaranteed.
I mean, I'm kind of curious what the market is for Joe Pavelski, though, because I don't think there's going to be much, to be frank.
If Pavelski wants to play, I think Wilson figures out how to get that done, just like he's done with Thornton over the last. Look at the things that Thornton has done. When you had the option, when we're looking at Marlowe and Thornton, who would like sign their deals together for like the 3 previous deals, then it comes down to Marlowe wants term and salary that Doug Wilson is not willing to give, even though Jumbo came along and said, hey, I'm willing to cough up some salary to keep him around. And Doug Wilson was like, nope, we're not doing that term, but thank you very much. Oh, and by the way, here's that money back. And I think Doug Wilson kind of, that was kind of a thing where, hey, we might want you to take a little bit less later, but we can afford this now, so we're going to give you this now.
I'd rather the Sharks not sign Erik Karlsson and invest in players like Andrews Lee from the New York Islanders, or maybe even Jake Gardiner from Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe go after people who are going to enter the prime years, get some more speed, get some more youth, because right now you kind of saw that with tonight's game. Just the Sharks were just a speed factor in games 4, 5, 6. That was the kind of the deciding factor. And if that sounds old, yeah, it's getting really damn old.
Well, it's so funny. After 2016, it was the Sharks got beaten by a really fast team. The Sharks need to be faster. They need to be quicker. 2019. Well, the Sharks didn't make it all the way because they weren't heavy enough. It's just like, come on, man.
It just seems like it flows. It's like 1 year it's speed, next year it's grit. It's crazy.
Oh God. And then next year it's going to be we don't have enough good defensemen. I'm like, well, the ball.
Right? I want to see just the top 3. I mean, probably 4. Well, you're going to see Vlasic, Braun, but I want to see Burns and Šimik. I want to see them get back to what they were. I don't need this to be like another Joakim Ryan thing where it worked really good for a brief time and then it just went to hell. So let's see Šimik back. Let's see and then of course find somebody to go with Dylan. I like Tim Heed. I think Tim Heed should get an opportunity. I think he got better as it went along. Every time he didn't make any bad mistakes tonight. He certainly wasn't the giveaway machine that EK65 has been over the last few games.
Gio Tarantino saying no Garter.
I just saw that. Look, man, he's good, but
I'd take DeMello back as a 7th.
No, you would not.
As a 7th defenseman, as a plug when somebody got injured.
As a 7th defenseman, that's like saying, "Yeah, I would love to have Deniemi as a 4th goaltender."
Well, yeah. Oh, no. I don't want that guy in California, much less anywhere near the Sharks. No. But I don't know. It's just going to be a lot of decisions to be made. As for Pavelski, I offer him 2 years and maybe at $6 million per.
If they lose out on Pavelski, do you think they try to make a big splash with the UFA? I mean,
I don't see them losing on Pavelski. I think Pavelski is firmly ensconced here. Him and Doug Wilson's going to figure out him and Pavelski. They're going to figure out a way to make that work. I think Doug Wilson just after everything Pavelski went through notwithstanding the season that he had this year, which was monstrous, but the playoffs that he had, straight up warrior. He's the captain we all need. I think Wilson figures out a way to make that happen.
Captain we need? Well,
he's the captain we all deserve.
Well, what about UFAs? Couldn't you see somebody making the splash? Matt Duchene's out there, Jordan Eberle, Artemi Panarin.
Dude,
Jeff
I don't
Skinner.
want Matt Duchene anywhere near in the state of California. That guy is a locker room cancer.
I could see him going after. See, I don't know that I can see the Panarin thing working out. The thing that makes me nervous, and I'm not gonna bullshit you, remember, Toronto is in cap hell.
Yep.
The first name they want off their books is Patrick Marleau.
And let them rot.
Well, no, what I think is going to happen. You could very well see Patrick Marleau take Thornton's slot next season. You could see Marleau come back as the third line center.
Crap! I'm gonna make a win it for Patty shirts, aren't I?
But hold on, is what I'm saying completely feasible?
Oh, it's completely feasible.
This is all I'm saying, dude.
If
Tyler Toffoli, yeah, I would take that one in a heartbeat.
If the organization can, reacquire former Sharks, Jeff Norton twice.
Oh, dude,
Jeff Friesen. Come on,
Jeff Friesen, Scott Hannon. I mean,
Jamie Baker,
right? Who? There's somebody else we're forgetting. That's Brad Stewart.
Yep,
twice.
Jeff Norton twice.
I was gonna say Solani, but that was once. That was the time.
It just felt twice.
It felt kind of twice. It felt like an eternity too.
And not to bring up tonight's game, but that fan of a shot from Couture, is that the new Temu?
No, this team, no, because you look at that, there were no significant injuries for the Sharks in that game. That was just a straight, he whiffed. It happens to the best of them. I'm sure that there's a whole parade of video that can be shown of Ovi missing on stuff. I mean,
for sure.
It happens to the best of them.
He did that a bunch during the Penguins and Cap series. So
yeah, there's another team that I've heard might have some cap issues going into next season. That's Las Vegas. There's somebody on there you could look into taking. And boy, how bad would that piss off the Vegas fan base? You think they're salty now? Holy crap.
To get back to Marleau, like, you only trade, let's just say, like Braun for Marleau if you're looking to start like a potential, get a free agent in the offseason. And if that's what they're trying to rebuild, that they're trying to start something, I'm down for that. If that's the plan, but that means punting on the playoffs, and we are not in any position because of the draft picks that we've given up with Erik Karlsson and the other trades to do that. So
I like the idea of Colin Miller in the chat, but somebody Davalos came through and said, yeah, dude, let's get Ryan Reeves to San Jose. I don't hate that.
Yeah, Kane and Ryan Reeves are going to be best friends.
Hey, dude, you sit there and you say that sarcastically. Do you remember the big name that Edmonton traded for over this last season?
Was it 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago?
The guy that made Connor McDavid Collar McBroken,
Oh yeah,
and they actually
Manning.
traded for the guy. Yeah. So just saying, stranger things have happened, my friend.
and he was a scratch in Bakersfield.
Dude, Rafi Torres was a fucking shark, okay? Nobody thought that was going to happen.
Of course.
A lot of people were, go home, Doug, you're drunk when they heard that. So,
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And Ken Holland, if there's a spot for Gus Nyquist, how would he look on the wing with Connor I almost said Collar McBroken. Connor McDavid.
Connor McBroken. Well, that kind of sums up the Edmonton Oilers, though.
Yeah. Oh my God. Too bad Eric Hall is not a UFA, dude.
Wait.
How quickly I would purchase a shirt on the back that holla.
There we go. I was waiting for that.
Oh man, how quickly I would.
Yeah, Vegas won't trade Miller to San Jose.
Well, LA wouldn't trade Martin Jones to San Jose either. Look what happened. Just saying.
What about Kevin Hayes? He was a Ranger, then he went to Winnipeg. Center.
I'd rather have Willie Mays Hayes from Major League.
Just a bit outside.
Goodbye.
I don't know what the Sharks do, but this does feel like it's a critical offseason. One that if they make the wrong signing, it could stick them for a while. But what is one of your favorite moments of the playoff run that it sadly ended in 3 rounds?
AJ, I'll let you go first.
Let me see. Favorite moments. I'm going to say there was 4 minutes during Game 7 of Round 1 that particularly stand out for me.
Okay, I am excluding that from the conversation.
Oh, come on.
Because, of course.
Okay. Well, you feel like you're got me in a box here.
I'm excluding Hall of Fame number 1s back to back to back to back. So,
all right. Then maybe when was it? What game was it? Like Game 3 or Game? Oh no, it certainly wasn't Game 4. The Sharks couldn't score in Game 4s. The Game 3 that against Colorado that Logan had a hat trick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was and the only other, and like Meyer scored somewhere in there, but it was like the Logan Couture show.
Yep.
It was Logan and Hurl.
No, that was 3 goals from Logan and 1 from Meyer in that game. And yeah, well, you asked. I'm trying to pick a picture. Yeah, I would say that game that kind of sticks out for me a bit. Seeing Ryan Reeves on the score sheets of games 5, 6, and 7. That's because he wasn't on the score sheet, like whatsoever. I don't know any of that. I don't know. I think that Logan game I thought was because it just seemed like he took the entire team on his back that game.
The Logan game,
or Martin Jones stopping 58 in Game 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say Game 6 against Vegas. That was unreal. And then Hurdle scoring the shorthanded on the chicken poop call in overtime or double overtime. And Jones was phenomenal.
Oh, I mean, Hurdle guaranteeing that it was going to go 7.
Right. Yeah, there's that one too.
The reaction where Kevin, you, and I were all watching that the hand the puck for Game 3, of course. Which of course was the last time they won, but that was pretty good. It's those little moments.
Oh, the chat pointing out something that what if we're not going to sign EK65, can we re-sign Mike Hoffman?
Laurel.
I am so down with that. Let
him stay longer than a day. And you wonder with the offensive struggles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude, I'm telling you, this is not a bad idea whatsoever.
And hey, if they're gonna be signing Panera and Bobrovsky in Florida, they're gonna need to clear up some cap space,
right? I have no problem with that. I mean, he's already got a banner, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. You know what? I love how he took the banner with him, which is so cool. You know, as much as Al can eliminate, I mean, hands down, the moment of the playoffs was that power play.
Yeah.
And AJ, I might have told you this story, and I know I haven't told Al. So third period's beginning, I'm talking to Jim Sparacco, who is our PR guy who's helped us out all season long. And
if you know, of course,
thank you. And I'm talking to him about where am I going to set up for doing the post game for Game 7 against Vegas. And usually where we were perched up top, where me and AJ were for the first 2 games against Vegas. And I said, hey, just in case, thanks for everything. I really appreciate it and everything. He looks at me, he's like, what are you talking about? Aren't you ready for the greatest third period in Sharks playoff history? And of course he says that, and then Pacioretty scores to make it 3-0. And I'm like, oh man, no. And where the elevator is, had a great shot where, unfortunately, where Pavelski gets hurt. I'm standing there and watch that whole 5-minute power play. And that's where that video clip, and find it on my Twitter, I'll eventually retweet it again, but that was something special.
Well, I liked game 1 of the first series. Eric and I are at the street rally, and we find Sharks vice president. We've had him on the show, Jonathan Becker. We're shooting the shit with him a little bit, and then he goes, so who do you think gets the first goal tonight? I think it's going to be Kane. And then I can't remember who you picked, Eric. What did you say, like Couture or something?
I think I said like Couture or Meyer.
Yeah. And I was like, what about you? I said, oh no, it's going to be Pavelski. It's going to be Pavelski tipping a burn shot, and it's going to be on the power play. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. and then I heard like little, few games later, Devin Setaguchi getting a whole bunch of kudos for calling that, and I was just like, he didn't, I sit on the power play. He did not. That's, I get more foreseen points than Devin, but okay. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun because, usually predictions you get wrong so often. So to be that specific and get it right was pretty funny.
Did you put it on your Instagram, AJ?
What?
That picture of us.
With John Root?
Yeah. No.
Becker. With me photobombing?
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
I gotta share this one because that was funny as hell. I'm taking pictures with him, and the next thing you know, there's AJ right there.
Jump in the back. Hey now. Somebody brought up goalies in the chat. I'm sorry, the chat's going kind of fast for me. So yeah, what do we see with Aaron Dell's gone. Especially if they plan on keeping Lukas Radil after today.
Yeah.
But that's another name that we didn't even touch on was Radil. We'll see what happens with him. But no, Aaron Dell, I believe, is gone. I think Cornash and Bebo both get an opportunity. I think one of them makes the jump. I just can't see them go. I think they put all of their rocks in Jones's basket, or eggs, whatever you want to say it. But I think they bet on Martin Jones, and you're going to be hard pressed to get out of that.
I don't know, because if you look how Boston got to the Cup this year, Rask hasn't played or didn't really play much in the regular season. This is the lowest starts he's ever had in his career. He's fresh. He's ready to go.
Look at this series, the upcoming final. It's like, are we seeing a series between two goaltenders that have played like the fewest amount of regular season games I mean, shit, St. Louis played the Sharks 3 times. Bennington didn't play in one of those games. You had Chad Johnson, and then who was the other cat?
But
Jake Allen.
Yeah, Jake Allen.
So,
Jake, I don't know what he's doing, Alan.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people were saying on Blues Twitter.
Yeah, I want to go like tally up. I want to tally up like the amount of games Rask and Bennington played in the regular season this year.
It was probably less than 60 combined.
Maybe a little more than that, I think.
And it's so funny. I'm sorry. When did Niemi have his most success? When he played like 38 games in the regular season?
52-ish.
I don't think it was that high, my friend. I think it was a bit lower. I don't think he played a full season.
He played a full season.
I mean, not a full season. He didn't play half a season, dude.
He played a full season. He did.
What? Dude, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, maybe you're talking like the lockout year?
No, I'm talking about the Chicago Blackhawks, the season that he got a ring, his most success.
All roads, when it comes to Teal Town, all roads come back to Chicago Blackhawks, Niemi, and making that a point.
And he played like 35, 36 games that season. It's just funny that for all the talk that you hear from coaches or general managers or whatever that sit there and harp on the whole thing, oh, he plays better the more games that he plays, blah, 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 blah. Yet you see some guys that the most successful they are is when they're not ridden into the ground. Look at Sebastian coming with it. Bennington, 32 games. Rask, 46.
Yep. So 78 total.
78.
Not even a full season between the both of them.
Niemi played 39 games in that 2009-2010 season. 39 games, 26-7-4, 2.25 goals against.
Yeah. So what I said 38. So yeah.
In fact, Nemo played more in the lockout shortened 2012-13 season than he did in the 2010 season where he got a ring.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny. But it's I don't know. This off season is going to be man. Especially if Jumbo retires, man.
I thought he was really burnt in the third round.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, it's like it makes me want to run to locker clean out and see if I can get this signed. But if Thornton retires, there's no way he's not dropping the puck at the first game for next season.
When does 19 get retired?
Is it before Marleau? That's the thing.
I don't know. I feel like the Sharks are loath to retire anybody's number until they get a cup. Like they want to raise a Stanley Cup banner before a retired number banner.
And you would have thought they already would have retired Nolan's number, but they haven't done that yet.
Ricci.
No, I don't know about Ricci.
I mean, only based on fan appreciation, whatever. I would say, like, you can say Nolan, you can say Ricci, but
Evgeny,
who I was going to say, who's beloved yet played an entire decade, Nabokov. So, yeah, I can't see. I can't see them retiring. The only way I think they retire Jumbo's number is if, like, the day that he goes into the Hall of Fame, then they do it because he's a Hall of Famer.
So that's the Laker way, where you have to be a Hall of Famer to have your jersey number retired.
I guess. I don't know.
Rob Humphrey with an idea. Maybe the Sharks pull on Mike Fisher with Jumbo, pull him out of retirement halfway through next year so he won't be gassed at the end.
Oh,
I don't hate that idea. Oh, Rob's saying Jumbo retires. They see Hurdle wearing the A on his jersey next. Absolutely. Because it seems like none of the defensive guys seem to want it. You know what I mean? Like Burns is just a madman. And as good as Vlasic is and everything, I don't know. I get the feeling that Vlasic just doesn't there's something not alternate assistant captain quality. But Hurdle, I could see Hurdle, Couture, and Pabs next season.
Yeah.
If Jumbo's gone.
This was a down year for Vlasic in all areas.
Oh, it was horrible. Horrible.
It was definitely a rough one for Vlasic early on. He got better in the second half.
It was rough, with the exception of Burns. It was just a real rough time for the entire Dylan, I should say, too. It was a rough time for everybody not named Burns and Dylan. I mean, you got Shimmick going out with injury. Joachim Ryan, just what a tire fire he became. I mean, horrible. EK65, it takes him forever to gel with the team. Then when he finally starts gelling, he's one of the best players for the Sharks, like between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then he gets injured, can never come back. So obviously not the season you want to have. And then Braun and Vlasic were just, it was tough to take watching those guys. Right. And Rob Iman asking, how will Jake Middleton fare on the bottom six next season? Bottom six? What are you talking about? I think you mean the bottom pair.
Six, bottom pair of the sixth defenseman.
Yeah. We'll see if he makes it. We don't know, if you're not spending all that money on EK65, you have players to go after. And maybe Doug Wilson, to his credit, will say, you know what? The whole idea of having two Burns on this team didn't work for me. I wonder what it would be like if we had two Vlasics. And he goes out and gets someone who doesn't have the ridiculous offensive numbers that guys like Burns and Hedman and Doughty and those guys put up. He goes for the guy who has ridiculous numbers when he's on the ice. The top, forwards on the other team don't score. Give me another Vlasic.
The Sharks.
Are you sure you want another Vlasic? I mean, this was.
Yeah, no, I want another Vlasic. I want another shutdown defenseman, because there was too many times. You look at this season, there was a lot of games where the Sharks, should we look at bringing back Mikkel Bodker? Rob, go home, you're drunk. Go home, you're drunk. There were a lot of games this season that the Sharks didn't win 2-1 or 1-0. There was a lot of times where they outscored their mistakes, and they won 6-4 and 5-3. It's no. I want to, and Jones thrives evidently when he doesn't see as much rubber. So let's get guys like Vlasic that won't allow Jones to see that. Let's limit the amount of rubber on the net.
So I say the best defenseman currently in the free agent market, or is expected to hit the free agent market, is Tyler Matthews, who I like a lot, but I don't know if maybe he's more consistent than Erik Karlsson, but he won't give you that offensive push, but he can give you that physical force.
Oh, people in the chat making perfect examples of what I was saying with Vlasic is, they need to replace Brown with a shutdown defenseman. But Vlasic was very good in the playoffs. Absolutely. You look at the 3 games that he didn't play versus Vegas, they lost every one. Yep. DC fog. DC defense is key, 2 or fewer. Yep. Absolutely. See, that's exactly my point, man. The Sharks were up until game what was it? 4 up until game 4, whatever, that whole 2 or fewer, undefeated when they had let in 2 or fewer. So yeah, give me another Vlasic.
Gio Tarantino is suggesting Strawman from Tampa. He was a UFA, or another defensive defenseman.
Well, Hackle saying problem is there are even fewer Vlasics than there are Burnsies and EKs.
Yes.
But but give me that type of a guy, and I'm more than fine there. Again, though, I want to see a more defensively responsible team. The other thing too is, what we haven't talked about really. Who from the front office, or I shouldn't say the front office, from the coaching staff is gone? Is Steve Spott still here? I mean, 2 for 21 in the power play during this postseason. How does that not get somebody a pink slip?
And talk about the woes in the regular season, for that matter, too.
Super.
That's the huge thing. And I don't know how many times I've seen it in our chat or on Twitter that power play coach, it's got to go. M. Hackle says, make room for Bob Bugner. You know,
I'm not opposed to this.
I'm not opposed to that because he ran the defense and he ran the defense very nicely to a Western Conference championship.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Didn't it hurt a little to see Larry Robinson with St. Louis? That hurt a little.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a Burns whisper. That kind of hurt a little bit. It's like, but what's video guy's name? Was it Dan Dwyer, Don? What the hell is it? Darrow?
Dan Darrow.
Yeah, that dude's getting a raise.
MVP of round 2.
Yeah,
that dude is getting a raise, and he's also like full vision coverage, everything.
Laurel, former Shark and Long Beach native Matt Nieto needs to come back to so he can be announced as former Avalanche, once former Shark Long Beach native Nieto.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I like Jerry's comment. Bring back Bugner like Cooch once. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, make a play for Boogie. I have no problem with that. But yeah, Spot needs to be shown the door. And how much oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. How much longer does Doug Wilson stick around? Not because he gets fired, but maybe he just gets burnt. You know, like maybe he decides, you know what, 15 years, I came pretty close a couple of times, and you would have to say that kind of success going to the playoffs 14 of 15 seasons is unmatched. But at some point you could potentially see Wilson saying, you know what, maybe it's time for me to move on. And you know, maybe play like they could just, you know, create another position for him in the franchise, but maybe it's time to go on. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at how successful it was or how quickly things changed once Burke was relieved of his duties.
Well, yeah, he moved to an assistant general manager, which would be interesting to see. But yeah, they're starting to groom, you know, DW Jr. as the head of scouting.
Yeah.
I can't see it right now.
I only see Doug Wilson leaving if there's a rebuild in progress and he doesn't want to stick around for the long term. And maybe he passes the reins down to, you know, to his son. And that's when the transition happens.
I think he's going to let Junior marinate with scouting and drafting right now because so far he's done a great job.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, well, we won't be watching the first night of the draft if you're a Sharks fan. The Sharks only have their 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th picks in the draft, in the upcoming draft.
But that can change between now and then.
So stay tuned for that. And then in 2020, they do not have their 1st and 3rd. It would have been a 2nd if the Sharks had won this round.
But now, you have to offer context of those. Like, why don't they? What were those involved in?
Well, the first round pick in 2019 was part of the Evander Kane trade. The second round pick was a part of the Nyquist trade, and
seems like
the Kane trade was also involved with the 4th round pick in 2019.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Or it's, you know what? We just go full alumni next season. We bring back Tierney, bring back Carpenter, bring back DeMello, just bring them all back. Bring everybody back.
Any regrets with the Erik Karlsson trade? I know when it happened, everyone was uniformly pretty pumped about it. And I know asking the question now, since we just lost in round 3, but how do you feel about the trade now?
I feel great about it. Dude, he missed on Tavares, who everybody wanted.
right.
And the fact that it was a stellar backup plan. You went for the guy that would essentially succeed Thornton for the next, decade, essentially, when you look at the deal. But that was the person that you had, and that didn't work out. So instead, you had a backup plan, swung for the fences. Hey, you think about the amount of teams that are out there that they don't even bother swinging. They don't even pick up a bat. But Doug Wilson swung for the fences, and you got to commend him on that. Who's to say that this season isn't significantly different? Who's to say that if Carlson was healthy the entire time that they don't? I mean, what did they miss the Pacific Division champion, the title, the Pac-Div title? Would they miss that by like 6 points, 7 points,
4 points?
I was going to say it wasn't a lot. It was like 109 to like 104 or something.
And Calgary got an easy schedule, lost 6 games. Yeah.
So they didn't miss they missed, but they missed by less than 10 points. And that's just 5 wins.
They missed by 6. Calgary
Okay,
had 107. San Jose had 101.
They missed by 3. Okay, 4. They missed by 4 games. They could pick up 4 more wins. And that there were a couple games, because we do this every season, is thank you so much, Laurel. We appreciate that. You know how much we appreciate you.
Thank you, Laurel.
What was I saying? They missed it by if they'd won 4 more games. Well, you think about how many games. Well, hell, if EK65 isn't suspended, there's probably 2 wins right there. No, I'm kidding. But they easily, if EK65 doesn't miss 30 some odd games, they probably pick up a few extra wins.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think, if he's healthy, hell, if Shimmick stays healthy throughout the entire season, they might pick up 4 extra wins. I mean, didn't after Shimmick went out, didn't they go on a 7-game losing streak?
Other way around. I think they were good for 6 games, and then they went on a 5 or 6 losing streak.
Well, yeah. I remember they had this really weird stat where there was 3 consecutive months, January, February, and March. If you go in and look, January, they won the first 7 games. Then the next month they won the first 6 games of the month. Then the next time in March they won the first 6 games of the month. But each one of those was followed by a pathetic second half of the month. And I think if Shimmick doesn't go there, exactly, Josh proving my point in the chat, Shimmick went down and the Sharks went on a 7-game losing streak. That's what I was talking about. So if Shimmick doesn't go down, if everybody's fully healthy, we could be talking. Things could have been totally different, my friend, in the playoffs. Might have seen who the hell did Calgary? Oh, might have seen Colorado in the first round.
Right.
Which was a very, very challenging matchup. I knew that was a bad matchup for the Sharks. But I think they won the first 3 and then lost the next 6. But
what's funny though is say that the Sharks, hypothetically, that they did win the Pacific Division. Do you think the matchups, the teams that they face in the playoffs, change?
No.
Instead of just playing Colorado in the second round, I think they would have seen Colorado in the first round and won. And I think Vegas would have beaten Calgary. So I think they would have seen Vegas in the second round. Even if all of that happens, I don't think the matchup changed, just which round you face those teams.
Who would have Colorado played? Or I guess Sharks, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Calgary and Vegas.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Juan saying, but Vegas would have been more beat up. Potentially. I definitely would have liked to have seen a series between Calgary and Vegas, especially one that, I don't know, Johnny Hockey might have actually scored in. Right, you talk about a kid who was snake bit once the playoffs started. He's like the opposite of Couture.
Right.
Going into the playoffs, I remember Vegas being really banged up, though. You got Fleury with whatever his shoulder injury was. Maybe we're talking a 4 or 5 game series for Calgary potentially, and you maybe get Johnny Gaudreau, who had a horrible postseason. You get maybe a Tarasenko esque performance where he's a little bit better. He's feeling the game a lot better. And Calgary has maybe a better playoffs, and then probably the only team to survive in the second round for your Canadian team.
Dude, I love Steve Rector's comment in the chat. If Dallas scores the Game 7 OT winner instead of St. Louis in round 2, does anything change in terms of where we are sitting right now? I'm dude, I don't know about you. I'm at the Shark store right now buying Stanley Cup 2019 merch.
Yep.
I think the Sharks easily, and I said that before this series started. I said I thought St. Louis was I had St. Louis in my bracket to get to this point. But no, I think Dallas would have been the easier matchup. And I said as much when St. Louis won. I was like, I would have preferred Dallas.
Yeah, especially when Dallas has a lot of injuries. But of course, the only thing you had to do to get through Dallas is get through Ben Bishop. And Ben Bishop give him a lot of credit. He's probably going to be the Vezina winner, but that's it.
Yeah.
Unless somebody has a crazy cup final.
Yeah, but I just don't see Dallas playing the kind of game that St. Louis had. You know, I don't know that they take some of the shots that Tarasenko or Pietrangelo take.
And the thing about St. Louis, and I give them a lot of credit, like they outplayed us 4-5-6. They held onto the puck a lot. The Sharks didn't outshoot the Blues that much. Maybe we were talking about a different game. If the Sharks put on 30 to 40 shots a game, you're really testing Binnington. Binnington, I didn't feel like he had a workload at all. And this really does feel like,
especially tonight.
Yeah, it felt like I'm looking at the shots, and we had like 9 or 10 shots in the first period, but it didn't feel like it at all.
One timer with a healthy Carlson, I say there's no question playing for the cup.
No,
I mean, I think if the Sharks are healthy, top to bottom, yeah, I think the Sharks are playing for the cup.
If you're just saying a healthy Carlson, we still need more forward depth. Pavelski, Hurdle, even Sorensen. God, I think the injuries were just too much for the Sharks to overcome.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. That's the point. Yeah. If team's fully healthy, do they? Yeah, I think they make it all the way. But I mean, you got to give credit to the Sharks, for winning that series against Colorado, only having their captain for one of the games. Mm-hmm. It was huge, and you saw what a difference it made, particularly on the power play. Well, they have like one power play out of that entire series versus Colorado. It was insane. One power play goal.
Yep, one for 20.
Oh, I think it was more than that. I had it written down somewhere.
I had it somewhere too.
If that's true, they went 1 for whatever for Colorado.
It was. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was 1 for 18. Good for 6%.
So Sharks power play was 1 for 18, and in the third round it was. I didn't update it, so never mind.
Yeah, you got to update. I'd be interested in seeing that. But 1 for 18 versus Colorado after going 8 for 34 versus Vegas. Now, obviously, those numbers are skewed a little bit because half of those came in 4 minutes in one game.
Yes. I think the power play was 3 for 19 in the third round, which seems right, but
yeah, it's not bad. The other thing too is the PK special teams, 22 for 30 on the PK in the first round for 73%, but versus Colorado, 91% on the PK, 21 for 23. That's huge.
2 for 23.
And when, not to get on officiating again, but when things changed going into game 4, the PK was rough, especially tonight, 2 for 2.
It was trash.
Yeah.
It was absolute trash.
No, special teams, definitely there could have been a little bit of a key going on, which again, to me says somebody from the coaching staff needs to see a pink slip. Because remember, let's I wish I had the wind chime sound effect. Let's go back, shall we? Let's go back to Montreal at the beginning of December. Wheels have kind of come off the Sharks wagon for a little while, and you get Doug Wilson flying his butt all the way out to the Northeast. You got a game with Toronto, but the whole thing was Montreal. And there was a team meeting, player-only meeting with Wilson, player-only meeting with the coach, and lots of meetings, lots of talk. And there was also some that's also when the coaching changes happen, where it's like, okay, we're going to move Spot from this area to this area. The guy who's up in the eye in the sky, we're going to move him down. We're going to put somebody else, we're going to, we're not going to fire anybody. We're just going to give everybody different positions for some reason, and that'll change everything. Well, for a while it did, and the Sharks were on an incredibly good run. But now I think it's just kind of like, okay, so that worked well. All right, it's time to change some things up. Hey, things were really good when Boogie was here. Maybe we get him back.
Might be a good idea.
And Lamvu asking, do you think Carlson will stay?
Nope.
I think he stays. I'm about 2% that he stays. And even that, I want to punch myself in the face for saying 2%.
What percentage would you say?
Negative 5,000. In fact,
thank you, Sean Connery on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah, no, and in fact, if anybody, I'm just going to put this out there now. Okay, if anybody wants to take me up on this, at AJ_Strong on Twitter, I will bet you a jersey, Sharks jersey, that EK65 is not playing on the Sharks roster next season. I will bet. Anybody want to take that bet? Hit me up on Twitter. I doubt anybody does.
And we're talking about Erik Karlsson, not Milk.
Erik Karlsson. If you want to take me up on that bet, here's the deal. You hit me up on Twitter. You say that EK65 is going to be a member of the Sharks. Fine. If he's a member of the Sharks, I will buy you an authentic Adidas Erik Karlsson jersey, whether you want a stealth one or a teal one. I will not buy you a white one. We're Team Teal. But if that happens, I will buy you a jersey. But if Erik Karlsson is not on the Sharks roster next season, you get to buy me a jersey of my choosing, which at this point will be number 51, Radim Šimić. Does Jumbo sign elsewhere? No.
His legs are too built.
I think if he plays next season, is only for the Sharks. I can't see him going. The only way I see him playing some. Can it be a custom name jersey that says AJ is wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally. But no, the only way Jumbo to me plays anywhere else next season, he starts the season with the Sharks and they go full Ray Bork for him.
I think he remains unsigned, and then halfway through, maybe he
would you like to bet a jersey?
No. I do think, though, he becomes, I think he decides the market. Maybe it's the Sharks, maybe a cup contender, but I think he still wants one more ring. And I think,
dude, Nick Witt in the chat, Joe goes back to Boston.
Oh, jeez.
How great would that be?
Man.
That would be so funny. I don't think Jumbo would go back. That dude, when he left, dude, there was bitterness there.
It still is.
Literally, yeah, it's like literally the last team that he would put. You think about a guy who is upset about not going to the play. I mean, how freaking fired up would Jumbo have been playing Boston in the final?
Dude, Jumbo's gonna go back to Vegas because he loves Vegas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Vegas. Yeah, bud. Yeah, bud.
Oh, that would just tear my heart out.
Yeah, park the car, bud.
Most likely he's going to play for Phoenix because that's the retirement home of the NHL.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so we've sat here and we've droned on and on about the Sharks coaching and back and forth about what players are staying, what players are going. Here's the thing to talk about. Who wins the cup this season, boys?
It's going to
You
be shipped
only
up to,
get 2 guesses.
it's going to be shipped up to Boston.
Eric?
I want to say Blues in 7.
You're crazy.
There's just something about it. I think the hot goalie,
See,
gets in there, and that team is pretty healthy. Plus, think about it. Yeah, Boston's getting 11 days off, but now St. Louis is going to get 5 or 6.
you make good points, and here's my problem. I have several problems, but I'll keep these hockey related. First off, the Isles swept the Pens, yes?
Yes.
The Canes swept the Isles, yes?
Oh, you're going to go
Yes.
there.
The Bruins swept the Canes, yes?
Yes.
Stands to reason the Bruins need to get swept. If you follow that. Okay. It's hard for me to root for the Blues after I saw some of the things that happened over this series. Of course, whether it's Braun getting headshotted, Hurdle getting headshotted, just some of the stuff that it makes it difficult to root for the Blues. Conversely, Boston has won enough goddamn championships over the course of the last 15 years. I've had it. I've literally had it. They're the reigning football champs right now, the reigning baseball champs right now. Do you really need hockey? Do you? I mean, come on. And like, someone needs to look this up. Has there ever been a time ever in history where one market in a calendar year has won a championship in 3 different sports? Like, when? Like, I mean, if you really want to get super duper technical, which I don't think you can, but I mean, you could make an argument for 89, where it's like, well, okay, the Athletics won the World Series and the 49ers won the Super Bowl. Like, it's still the same. It's still the Bay Area market, but
I think it's the New York Knicks or New York. It was the Rangers, Knicks. Oh, they lost that series.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, find me, somebody had said like maybe Detroit in the 20s. Okay. Like, in my lifetime, like, I'm not 100 years old, despite of what I look like on camera, but I just can't think of a time where that has ever happened. Somebody look that up. What is this? When the Bruins won in 2011, all their teams won a championship in 7 years. No, I get that, because the Patriots win every other Super Bowl. But my point is, I want to know 3 championships in 3 different sports in 1 calendar year. This is what I wanted to. So that's the thing. So there's part of me that wants Boston to lose, specifically because they've won. They just keep winning, and that's annoying to me. Now, if this is like the first time in like 100 years that this has happened, then it's just kind of like, well, I kind of want to see it, because when are you ever going to see this again? Remember like 10 years ago in football, you had brothers at the same position win back-to-back Super Bowls. Manning won in 06, then the other Manning won in 07, and if I remember correctly too, somewhere in there was a season where the Patriots went 16-0, and then the following year Detroit went 0-16. Like, when are you ever going to see something like that happen? I mean, I guess as long as the Lions are still in the league, that has a chance of happening every season, that they can go 0-16. But oh man. Okay, so they're saying 1934-35 Lions, Red Wings, and Tigers. Oh my. But the thing is, though, too, is how many hockey teams were there in 34-35? Like, just like law of probability means you're going to win it once in a while. So fewer teams back then.
From John Morosi from NHL Network, he tweeted about an hour ago, Erik Karlsson was fully healthy and dialed in for about quote unquote 6 weeks this season, according to Peter DeBoer after Game 6. Joe Pavelski was, quote, not close to playing Tuesday night.
Concussion.
Yep. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you see that reaction after he takes that forearm. Doesn't even surprise me. And okay, see, now that's another thing that we talked about, or, we've talked about all this. Oh, by the way, okay, my pick. Yeah, unfortunately, I hate this. I'm saying Boston in 6. That's where I'm going with it. God, it might even be in 5 with Boston's home ice. Because remember, the St. Louis wasn't that great at home this season. They were very good on the road, but Boston is a different animal.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. You know what? I'm saying Boston in 6 just because, like, they don't – Boston, yeah, you're going to win it, but you don't need to win it at home. So Boston in 6. But the other thing we haven't talked about, because of these playoffs, specifically, Sharks related, but lest we forget, 2 hits on Braun's head, the hit on Hurdle's head, the Joe Thornton suspension, the McAvoy suspension, multiple referees being ceremoniously shown the door, the NHL coming out and apologizing. Do we see sweeping changes, at the higher levels? Do we see, new heads of officiating? Do we see somebody new at Department of Player Safety? Someone that's actually willing to come out like Shanahan did and like put a face on it and actually explain why a call. Like, I have so much respect for Shanahan for doing that.
Hell yeah.
I have no respect for George Peros.
Yep.
No.
Like, what, you're afraid your big mustache isn't going to fit on camera? Come on.
Paris needs to get the hell out of there. Be quite honest, especially after this postseason.
Well, and how do you let a goon be in that position?
Thank you. Like we talked about, AJ. The next one most likely will be Rafi Torres running the Department of Player Safety.
Yeah, or like you said, it's going to be like the Nathan Horton hit. It's going to take somebody leaving on a stretcher for them to finally make a change. That's how do you have Peros in there? I don't get it. What was like George Laraque busy or something? And that's the other thing.
Yeah, he is. He was busy talking crap about the Sharks on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, Laraque is popping off, and it's like, I'm sorry, like, dude, your claim to fame is being in the movie called Goon. Like,
and plus delivering a cheap shot to Cheat Shoe in Game 4 in 2006.
Yeah, so the fact that it's like somebody like Laraque is going to pop off, it's just like, are you serious, dude? Are you for real right now? So, anyway, do you either of you think that there is any change just based on the amount of, like, not only fans as a whole calling out NHL player safety, like literally players or former players, I should say, like Devin Setaguchi, Curtis Brown, those guys, or Brett Etiken?
I don't think you're going to see any changes this postseason. I think during the offseason, you're going to get more clarification on referees. Maybe you're going to get more of an instant replay, a official in the arena, or potentially have someone in the box that gives you more of an instant replay. Maybe what the league really needs is more of a clarification on what is an offsides review.
I could give a shit about offside review.
I
want to see
something in general, like in terms of high sticking. Is that a reviewable play? Can they pause the action before the penalty starts or the power play starts? Is that reviewable? Can they make those changes where it doesn't actually impact the play? That's what I want more to see. And until that's done, the game's just too fast for the referees, even that 4 on the ice.
I think at this point, the only thing we review from here on out are hand passes. That's it. Nothing else. No, I'm willing to like forego the whole challenging offside thing. Because honestly, like, there needs to be a clock on that. Because at some point, you could have it where you'd have possession for 40 seconds. And at some point, whether that play was offside or not, like, you've seen a player change. Some players gone off and a new one's come on. At some point, being offside has nothing to do with that goal being scored. So I'm more than fine getting rid of that. It's silly. But what I would add is something maybe like sort of like the NFL, but not. But like each coach as each team gets one timeout, you also get like one review where you can like throw the red flag type of a thing, and you say, hey, you know what, that right there, I want that reviewed. Now, whether like they can go back in time or whatever and say what, if there's something that impacted the game or whatever, that they can look at, maybe just like one time. You get one challenge, and if you're wrong, you're on the penalty kill. So because you don't want this happening all the time. But conversely, the other thing I'd like to see reviewed is these hits. Like if the like Braun hit twice in the head, no goddamn call for me, like that. You should be able to throw a red flag for that and say, hey, go take a look at this. Was this a head hit? Was it height? Now, and make them come out and say, no, now that we've looked at it, we don't think it was a head hit. Like, actually come out and say it.
What I would like them to do is get rid of the blue line, get rid of and put in the center ice line, and make the game more about the speed on the ice for the players, stretch out the ice, give the game more dimensions. I've kind of just sick of holding my breath, hoping the goals count whenever they cross the ice. I think it's really starting to hold back the game in a way that's actually like, when I watch football, I don't think like, well, 10 yards, they got to stop the play. I want a breakaway goal during the action. I think like I think that's something they really should start considering. I think really the best action right now is 3 versus 3, or even potentially 4 versus 4. Yeah, 4 versus 4.
I like that. Hold on. I want to get back to you, but I need to address the chat. Every once in a while, you got to spray the troll spray. Aaron chats, Sharks were handed a game with a hand pass. Are you people serious?
Well, he is handing something.
Yeah. It's dude, the amount of games that things don't get called, as we saw during this entire round, we're not going to sit here and harp about it. Dude, we talked about that after game 5. Keith Price, it's not about the refs. The Blues totally outplayed the Sharks of the series, hands down. We already talked about that, and we agree with you. It would have been nice if the Sharks were fully healthy the entire time. They weren't. Blues took advantage of it, killed a wounded animal. Again, we already admitted that, so good on you. They should remove the instigator penalty. What the hell for? They don't use it as it is.
That's true.
When was the last time it was called?
Yeah, exactly. Like, remove the instigator penalty. I think they might have already. Oh, shit, dude, Rob. If you challenge a call and you're wrong, Haley now plays on your team.
Oh, boy.
Oh, dude. I want to donate $5 to him for that one. That's a good one, dude. Oh, my God.
Should we play the Thornton post game?
Yeah, if you got it.
Yeah, it's on the
yeah, Laurel knowing it. Not blaming the refs. AJ made that clear 6 times. Yes, I don't know how many times I need.
You got to do it every 30 minutes.
Yeah, evidently. I need a neon sign that I can just turn off and on that says we are not blaming the officials for the loss.
Yeah, those joining us, we are not blaming the officials for the loss.
We are saying Department of Player Safety needs to be rehauled.
From sjsharks.com and their app, here is Joe Thornton after being eliminated.
Or maybe there isn't.
Or maybe not.
Good. Holy hell, dude. That volume is certainly way too low.
It's low.
It is so low, we can't hear you, man.
Yeah, of course it is.
No.
Why isn't it that way?
Jumbo sounds so low, 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 low.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the fan base is low, low.
We're right there. It's just they play great. Hats off to them. That's a real good hockey team over there.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to
we're gonna
have to retweet this.
If you could
later.
try to do it on your end, AJ, go for it.
Well, I don't know where you're getting that from.
The app,
What app?
the Sharks app.
The Sharks have an app. Oh, how many times am I gonna have to reinstall it for it to work?
And with that, hi, Mr. Becker, Mr.
It's
Totoro.
not
Hope
their
you're watching the
fault.
show.
It's not their fault.
It controls all your information, your credit card information. So if you have some season ticket holder information that they just all of a sudden gets disappeared.
No, I wasn't sure if you were pulling off Twitter or what was going on there.
Birch 7F, does Jumbo shave his beard again, or does he? Oh, come on. Or does he stay looking like a homeless stew?
Jerry F. The Sharks app is hard to access on AOL.
Oh, jeez.
Can I just take this moment to mention how much I appreciate the people that have been with us for a while, that they can slip in these jokes that we get, but maybe other people don't because they haven't been with us as long. I appreciate you guys. That's awesome. It's like, we can't kick you when you're down in person, so let's do it over here.
No, but we appreciate everybody, and
except for AOL. Those
except
guys
for
we don't
AOL.
appreciate.
Or more so specifically Xfinity Internet, where I've topped off their speed, and for some reason still can't get any connection.
What was that? You were AOL.
Yeah, see, there you go. Right. So we're all here for the fallout. Oh, Jay Clark. Something like, how does this affect Toronto? Well, let's be honest. Jumbo may go there.
It's getting harder. He's 11 of the game.
Oh yeah, we gotta, we're right there. It's just they played great. Hats off to them. That's that's a real good hockey team over there.
Jumbo, what can you say about just the team's effort tonight, the battle back from all these injuries, and stay close for most of the game?
Yeah, we competed hard. We expected that. We expected all these 20 guys that dressed to compete hard, and we did. I don't think the score, really dictated the game, but we played hard tonight.
Joe, have you given any thought to the future?
No. Nope.
Joe, you guys were able to score quite a few goals in the first 2 or 3 games in this series, and then all of a sudden it just dried up. Does that surprise you?
A little bit, but their team defense is tough, man. Like I said before, it's a good team over there.
So there you go. But yeah, that whole thing about not thinking about the future, boy, he kind of hung on that for a minute, and
he was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I hope Barry Essa Bart will be open for the start. Well, hope springs eternal, my friend.
Yeah. That'd be nice. That'd be nice for sure.
Puck guy is the Haley of this group. Oh man, dude, it's not Puck guy. It's just his internet connection. It's not him. It's AOL.
Wow.
It's not him.
You are not the Haley of this group.
Although I will say, when he came over, my internet did break.
You're more the Ryan of this group.
Oh, come on. As a guy who's dropped the puck twice on Shark Tank Ice, I deserve more than that.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Beach Boy, Jumbo should be a coach on the bench night. No way, man. You got to give a guy some time away. It's too heated. Nerves are still too raw.
Yeah.
Nerves are too raw. Oh, Christ. No, Laurel. No. You can just wait until we play the Canucks. Which will probably happen in preseason. So,
Al, do you know where the draft is this year?
Oh, don't do it, man. It's in the Pacific Northwest.
Shut up, AJ.
Where's it at?
Vancouver.
F you.
And our viewer count dropped 100.
Yeah. Oh man. You know what? It has been quite some time, and I know we peaked a little bit ago, but hey, now we're just having fun. It's we've moved on to the whole in memoriam segment. Do us a favor, hit the subscribe button if you would, please. We certainly would appreciate that. We had our best season ever when it came to subscribers, to people getting follows on Twitter and Instagram, and we're trying to produce more and more content. And the way that we're able to do that is when you support the show by hitting subscribe, hitting, following on Twitter, following on Instagram. And for those of you who purchased our awesome Win It for Jumbo shirts, and there's a couple that are sitting here that are shipping out tomorrow from the orders. But if you got one of our cool Win It for Jumbo shirts, that also helped support the site, and we totally appreciate that. And to let you know, I believe there are 4 larges and 1 extra large left. So if you want to get one, get her now, because they're going to be gone.
We go pretty quick.
Teal Town USA Day, pointed out by Jerry. Bizarrely enough, against St. Louis, but March 9th, that was a whole lot of fun, and hopefully we're going to be able to do that again next season. Yeah, so maybe more than one group outing next season. We can talk about doing something like that, but it was great to see everybody, meet a lot of people in person. A couple people, it wasn't so great to meet them in person. No, okay.
AJ.
Yeah, but it was that was a lot of fun. But yeah, and then of course all the donations in the super chat, we totally appreciate that, and all the support of the show. And you can look forward to us doing some, hopefully being able to do some more stuff over the summer and leading into next season. Hopefully we'll have some new stuff for you. Gabriel Cruz asking, are you Warriors fans? No, I do not watch soccer, but I appreciate the question. Randy Hahn looks super depressed for a guy that's been for this team 25 years and has been. Yeah.
It sounds like on that question that he was super depressed.
And for that matter,
he looked incredibly tan.
Hey, it's off season.
It's been nice lately.
Yeah.
The other thing too is, remember, this is his dream. 30 years ago, he was putting, flyers on for NHL Hockey San Jose at 49ers games at Candlestick. And this is where it's grown. And I remember talking to him at the beginning of the year, saying he was the one who said, this is the best team the Sharks have ever assembled on paper.
They're just now getting the joke. Did AJ just call the Warriors a soccer team? Yes, because that's how much I pay attention to the Warriors. I know they're doing well. Good for them. And that's great. All I can think of is, what is it? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, just Ben Affleck, and that just, when, Lord, when? When's going to be my time? That's all I hear. How can we help out the channel during the off season? Just spread the word. Honestly, if you can find other people that are on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, say, hey, you should check out my buddies, Teal Town USA. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram.
Yep.
Just, spreading the word. We're going to try to put another t-shirt out during the summer, a different design, maybe just, we should ask you guys. You're the ones we would hope would buy one.
And on the chat, since there's 114 of you, throw out suggestions of what you want to see during the off season and what kind of merch you are looking for.
Yeah, clearly we're going to, when the draft comes around, we'll be talking about that. When free agents, of course, free agent frenzy, we're going to be talking about that. When there's the equipment sale, I'm sure we'll do some stuff on that.
Prospect scrimmage.
Yes, absolutely.
That's probably our big one during the off season.
Yes. Oh, Free for All Fridays return over the summer. Yeah, we could do a Black Stealth Teal Town USA. Yeah, we were thinking about doing something like that. So, Eric, you might want to jot down some of these things. I need a t-shirt with cartoon characters of your personalities. Oh, I like that.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Yeah, okay. So
we wouldn't have enough room to fit.
Can you fit glasses and spiky hair on an asshole?
AJ's going to want his personality extra bigger than anyone else's.
Yeah. I like that.
Off-season traits, yeah. If there's something big that comes down, we'll be covering it.
But somebody brought up free for all Friday. We might start doing something like that. I know something that Chris kind of did a little bit over last summer was a what are they, AMAs?
Ask Me Anything.
Yeah, doing something like that. I'd be more fine than it's just like I might jump, like a free for all. I could do a free for all Friday, but the last thing I would talk about is hockey. I'd sit here and talk about, like, I don't know, music and movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Or maybe how bad the Giants are doing at that point. I don't know.
And we'll definitely have, little stuff here and there, but of course, when we hit the off season, it's a little rough. But yeah, we'll definitely.
How about a shirt with the scoreboard with the clock of the moment the 5-minute power play started? That's been done.
Unfortunately, yeah.
By more than one.
Right.
All great designs.
Yes. I think Kayla should get her own T-shirt.
Oh,
we can talk about that. Live broadcast at the tank for scrimmage game. That could very well happen. Actually, that would be, you know what? Another thing. Eric, jot these things down.
We'll talk to Sparacco. Jim, if you're watching, call me.
Yeah. I loved AJ's 6-hour music, movies, and food marathon. Was that me and Al?
Yeah, that was you and Al.
Well, it was like me and Al for like 4 of those hours, and then
Hockey Jerk came on. I'm like,
yeah. I can't believe I must have been hammered. So yeah, a little bit more of that. Thinking about making some changes to the way the Pucknologists is presented. So you might see some stuff there. But anyway, yeah, just again, the more you can spread the word, the more subscribers, the more followers. Yes. Tealtown USA AOL
229.0.
But yeah, anything you can do to help spread the word is always helpful. And again, T-shirt ideas. If we take people at their word for the most part. If you say that, hey, hit us up on Twitter or whatever. If you're like, hey, I would totally buy a black, like a stealth designed Tealtown USA shirt. Mm-hmm. Let us know. If we get enough demand, we'll do it. But we do have to we have to prepay this, and so we're not looking to make a stellar amount of money doing this. We're fine just getting our money back, but we don't want to take a chance. But if you come at us and you're like, and there's 18 people in here that said, oh my God, I would buy this shirt if you guys made it, then we're down.
Right.
Absolutely. Because Lord knows I would like one of those. The Sharks need to get rid of the black jersey design.
Yes.
That's, okay, Cheryl wants a black stealth Tealtown shirt. Okay. Do you think that the Sharks dump the stealth jersey next season and bring out? Well, no, I'm wondering.
Stealth jersey's trash.
See, there's some people that love it, some people that hate it. It makes me wonder, was that just kind of like a 1-year thing and they're going to roll out something new next season? You think they roll with it for another 5 or 6 years like they seem to do with black jerseys?
No, we would have heard something by now if they were going to change out.
I don't know.
Next one is bleach.
No, I think more than anything, I know Totoro was really down for charcoal.
There was charcoal. I think there's also pressure to put out a jersey that replaces the crest. That they put out a third jersey that either has this, the original, one of some incorporation of the Screaming Shark logo, or the the SJ with the Screaming Shark.
Once again, bleach.
There you go. Or see, people saying they should bring back the heritage jersey.
I'm on there.
Yeah, no, I think they should do heritage. It should be Heritage Thursdays or Throwback. It should be Throwback Thursday. Hello, that's what it should be. Throwback Thursday. Every Thursday home game, they go retro. I would love that. They would sell a ton of these jerseys, but they've already sold a ton of these jerseys, so that means they got to make more and different ones in order to.
And my thing I would love for like the original design, but with the Screaming Shark on it. It's different. Yeah. That's how you're going to get the people to buy more.
Baby Shark jersey. Okay, where's the eject button on this again? How do you kill somebody on here?
Oh, John, no.
An AOL T-shirt. Oh, yes. Yeah. And like isn't the AOL logo like a triangle with a circle in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
the circle is the Teal Town.
No.
It's the Illuminati logo.
No.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. At the very least, you need to come up with the design. The very least, I need to see that. Oh my God, that would be so rad. Let me see. Happy that you guys got the teal perfect on the jumbo shirt. Well, that was Eric. He found the right people. Ended up with a FT shirt that made them look like a fan of the Charlotte Hornets. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. We took a chance with our original Teal Town USA shirts. It didn't work out too well for us, but we got the right people now with the right colors. So
Yep.
Absolutely. No.
And these are nice quality too. So
yeah, these Gildan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, these are nice, comfy shirts. I'm down with these. Believe you me, dude, I wouldn't. Okay, everybody knows how much I love to dump all over the Fanatics, and the reason being, hold on, AJ Rage Quit podcast. I'm not sure what that means, but everybody knows how much I'm not a fan of the Fanatics merchandise. I don't think the quality is very good. This, I think because of that, you can trust me when I say these are good quality. Nowhere on here will you see a Fanatics logo. Okay.
And unless it said Western Conference champions.
Yes, that's true. See, and John, he got one. Jumbo shirt is comfy. See, that's all we're trying to do. So, Giants just walked off. Well, that was nice. Rocket back at what? Do we need a Rocket backender shirt?
I think somebody's been requesting for Rocket.
Oh, they want a T-shirt with AJ Rage Quit. I don't get AJ Rage Quit, but anyway, dude, how about the design that you have, a takeoff of the design that you have, but instead of the jumbo beard with the stripe or whatever, you come up with like a silhouette outline of like Rocket's hair with like the fruit basket thing on top, and instead of win it for jumbo, it just says if the playoffs started tomorrow.
Yes,
I would buy that shirt. I would buy that shirt.
Well,
feels like it's Saturday, doesn't it?
Instead of Tuesday.
Yeah.
In Lambview SGS, I've been wanting that for the longest time. It would be cool if the Sharks did a Sea of Teal in the playoffs.
Congratulations, Noah. Your Blues won. Congratulations.
Yep. Noah, and like we said, congratulations to the Blues and their fans. 49 years being between trips to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, you talk about a team that used to get called out for choking.
And speaking of which, so are you or Chris going to be sending the beer?
Ooh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So that sounds like a Chris problem.
Yeah, that's probably a Chris problem. So on our preview podcast with Let's Go Blues Radio, and hats off to you guys. You guys are going to be having a great time with the cup final. They bet beer.
Oh, well, that's if you're going to bet something, that's the thing to bet. The Laurel going full Game of Thrones. Brace yourself. Timeouts.
Oh, damn.
Holy crap. All right, Laurel. Okay, calm down, Laurel. Calm down.
Still a better ending than the actual Game of Thrones.
Oh, hey now. Hi-yo. Okay, well, I didn't make that bet, so I ain't paying for nothing. But if Chris made that bet, good on him. And Let's Go Blues. Enjoy. Well, they're in St. Louis. Do they know what good beer is? I mean, isn't that where Anheuser?
Don't worry, that was mentioned on that podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that where Anheuser-Busch is located?
Yes.
Is in St. Louis? Like, isn't Budweiser in St. Louis like the same as like Rogers in Canada? It's just everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Should we be saying our thank yous?
Oh, at best you're Jay, I'm not saying she's not doing a good job. I was just laughing because it was like timeout. I'm like, wow. Yeah, at best you're going to win a Budweiser. Yeah, I don't know that that's a win, but okay.
Enjoy the water.
Yeah, enjoy the water. If that's a problem, send it to Flint, Michigan when you're done with it. Oh, just saying. Yeah. Okay. So again, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button if you would. Share this with a friend. Tell them to get on YouTube. Tell them to check out the show. Again, we're more than open to covering other stuff. So all you got to do is just get on Twitter. Let us know. We're pretty accessible people. Yep. Speaking of which, you can find me at AJ_strong on Instagram and on Twitter. Don't look for me on Facebook because I'm never on there. I maintain an account just for continuity purposes only. But yeah, you can find me on there. And that's probably going to do it for that. New Pucknologists will be coming. I believe that should premiere Thursday morning because we'll be recording it tomorrow. And look for that for your Thursday morning listening pleasure. That'll premiere on the YouTube channel. And then afterwards, hit all the sound, all the podcast platforms, Spotify, all the, what they all are. So if you know it, you know it. So that's that's it. And then are we doing anything to wrap up the actual cup?
We can when the cup's presented. I think we've gone on.
We did last year.
Yeah, I know for that. So
my Twitter is already going. Lone Wolf Designs, I don't know who you are, my friend, but might need to take you on that EK65 bet. Wow. Absolument. Bring it.
Al, where can the people find you?
Well, first and foremost, thank you everyone who's been reaching out to me on Twitter. This is not the ending that we all wanted, of course. We still need 16 wins. So hopefully next year or whenever that seems to happen, it will happen one day, I assume. Hopefully. Pray to God. But we will always have round 1, game 7, and it's on YouTube. So if you just search it up that seems to be like the best antidepressant of all time. So this has been a good playoff run, even though it just seems like it's coming up a little bit too short than we expected. So you can see me, you can find me on Twitter out the off season at Al Martinet, free to chat sports, football, anything really. I will see you there. I will free to talk hockey. Till next time.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PuckGuy14. You can always follow, in case you missed it or anything, or you want to watch this again, check us out at TealTownUSA.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, and of course, our YouTube channel. We do this after every game. I think we got close to 400 in a row now. So really appreciate everybody that tunes in. Whether you find us on the SoundCloud or on the YouTube and such. Al, since you're on, I'll thank you first. And I really wish you had a nightmare because you're graduating on Thursday. And it would have been at the same time as game 7. So.
Okay. Wrap it up because our buddy Brody Brazil is about to go live.
Yep. So let's thank each and every one that watches this. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to Jim Sparacco wholeheartedly for helping us out through all year. Let's also thank all our guests: Drew Remenda, Randy Hahn, Dan Ruzanowski, Ted Ramey. Who else, AJ?
I don't know. I just want to get like the end of a at the end of the movie. It's like, here's all the people that were on, and it's like rolling credits.
Right.
But yeah, what'd you say? Drew, friend of the show. Brody, of course. Ted Ramey, all the access. John Becker, Jonathan Totora, all the guys that have just Heather Hooper at the beginning of the season, yep. Of course, Randy Hahn, Jamie Baker, just everybody that allows us to have a few minutes of their time. We totally appreciate it. can't do a lot of this stuff without them.
And then I want to shout out Landy for being on all the time, Kevin, Chris, Ian, Rocket, of course, and the newcomer, Kelsey.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And where will Brody be live? He will be on his YouTube channel. So go check. Oh, and Doug Wilson, he was nice enough to give us some time last summer, and hopefully he will be able to do the same this year.
Absolutely. So with that, that's it for After Dark for the 2019 season and playoffs. We will be back with you sometime very soon to talk about all the stuff on the off season. So stay tuned to our Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that bell when you subscribe. That'll notify you when we have something new to come out, just like the Pucknologists on Thursday morning.
No, it's not bye forever. It's just bye for now.
Yes, we're not going anywhere that far. But with that, I gotta get a haircut and I gotta get a shave. Brody's on shortly, and I want to thank you very much for everything. And until we talk to you again, and indefinitely, and until next season, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Thank you for a great season, everybody. See you next time.